Let's take a look at what this looks like when you take your mini car stories and begin to put them in the work experience section of your resume. So here we have a resume from an alum. I've changed his name and some of the other information, but he was very willing to share his resume with you so you could see an example of what we're talking about. So we're going to call him Chris Frere. And down here under work experience, right here in the first bullet, we see an example of a mini car story. So looking at the job description, understanding what the company's looking for, this alum wrote out 6 to 10 car stories, and then he created that mini car story. And here's what he's saying. Remember, the I is implied. I led a team of IT security consultants and software developers, both in-house and those engaged at multiple client sites, to enhance customer-facing communications, etc. And what was the result? Enabling more accurate performance tracking, improved risk mitigation, and quicker issue resolution. So I hope you can see in that mini car story both the challenge or situation, the action he took, and the result. Now, at this point, some people find it easier to begin to put those mini car stories into the various positions they've had, into their work experience. And then once they've done that, come back and work on their profile or their summary of qualifications. Sometimes you can just call this professional profile, summary of qualifications, that sort of thing. Other people find it easier for them to first write the profile and then come and put in the car stories. So you do it whichever way kind of makes the most sense to you. What is the profile? Well, the profile here is basically the overview of who you are as a professional and what you have to offer. And again, because you're applying for a specific position, it's going to be targeted to that position. So we don't have the position description for this particular that Chris used to develop this resume, but it had to do with leading virtual distributed teams, had to do with a certain kind of management style, etc., etc. And so Chris developed this profile. And what he's saying is, again, I am is implied. I am a management professional with extensive experience leading virtual distributed teams, so on and so forth. So my recommendation on the profile, there's a 1 or 2 sentence kind of overview, and then the bullets here, again, looking at the job description and your overall understanding of those kinds of roles and that organization. What are the 3 to 6 at the most key things you want to emphasize up in that profile? In Chris's case, you can see he wanted to emphasize, I am someone who can establish, mentor, and manage teams. I can identify improvement opportunities. I can build strong relationships. I can plan, design, and execute strategy, etc. And then under work experience, this is the proof, the evidence that what he said about himself in the profile is true. And that's what those mini car stories do. They provide the proof or evidence that what you're claiming up here is true. So you want to get away from generalizations, away from just a list of tasks and responsibilities in your work experience. And you want to make those general statements up in the profile and then prove them through the use of the mini car stories in the work experience part of your resume. At this point, the process of creating your targeted marketing document to apply for a specific job that's been posted online involves going back to the job description, seeing, have I addressed everything in here and proven that I am qualified? And coming back to your resume, your targeted marketing document, and saying, no, I haven't talked about this area, and that seems to be important to the company. Do I want to include that up in my profile? Do I need to create a new mini car story from my work experience? Do I need to rewrite how I've written something to bring that out? Remember, when you're applying online, and if there's no one in the organization that can go to that hiring manager and vouch for you, the only thing that speaks for you is what you're able to submit online. So it better be targeted to the specific job you are applying for.